Welcome back everyone, Dustin here again, Average Guy Hi-Fi with another kind of long overdue subwoofer review, but I've honestly just been enjoying this thing for probably about a month now. Usually I can't hang on to stuff that long, I need to get my money back out of it, but this subwoofer is, as you guys know, I'm a bit of an SVS fan. I've owned, not all of them, but probably about 20 different SVS models over the years. So this is one that I was really interested in trying since I've already had some experience with the SB16 Ultra. Ended up walking into my Best Buy and they had a open box kind of deal going, but it wasn't an open box. It was just kind of an overstock sub that they might have special ordered for somebody. And then that person didn't come pick it up. So my timing was just perfect. On the subwoofer itself, the floor model, which was an oak finish, they had a little label saying that they had the gloss finish in back at a sale price. And when I asked them how much they would sell it for, it ended up being about $1,250 plus tax. So this right here, as you guys might have already been able to guess, this is the SVS SB-4000. So this is the 13.5 inch driver sealed version. And the SB16 Ultra is the 16 inch sealed version. So I was very excited to kind of compare these two side by side. The MSRP on the gloss version is $1,599. Again, I ended up picking it up for about $1,250, and that included tax and everything. So 100% jumped on it. Turned out it was a brand new sub in the back too. I was the first one to open it and get it all set up and everything. So very good deal. I mean, again, the whole point of this channel is to try to help you guys just find creative ways of being able to save money. And obviously just ordering it from SVS directly is an option too, especially at their outlet. So be sure to check out the outlet sales that they frequently have going. Because of their trade-up program and things like that, they generally have a pretty good influx. And right now I'm trying to talk myself into maybe grabbing a PC-4000 next. So those are subs that are probably, I'm kind of going ahead and future-proofing myself a little bit and buying the stuff that I might just use in my dedicated theater if I ever get one. But the PC-4000 is definitely on my short list right now. So again, this subwoofer had an MSRP of $1,599. Not an inexpensive sub, especially when there's brands out there like Rhythmic, PSA, Shoe, things like that. But just love SVS. Again, I've had experience with many of those other brands, and SVS they're all pretty comparable. They just put their priorities kind of in different areas, it seems. We'll get into that a little bit later. But again, this one has a 13.5 inch woofer. It's a fiber resin composite woofer, just like it is with the SB16 Ultra. It comes with that big metal grill, kind of love it or hate it relationship on this thing, but I actually like it. It kind of separates itself, has some nice big tabs that plug in there on the front. As you guys know, I kind of like subwoofers and speakers have magnetic grills, but with these high-powered woofers and the Excursion, this has a 3-inch Excursion, so it's just a beefy. The motor magnet is 40 pounds alone. So some of the specs are, it's a 1200 watt RMS amplifier. It's right here. It's one of the Sledge. It's the STA 1200D. So it comes with the line level output, line level input, the LFE, which is mostly what you guys will be using for home theater purposes. But the nice thing is too, it also comes with balanced output and then balanced inputs. So for people out there that are running XLR cables and things like that, just lots of different hookup options. The way I'm going to be running it over there, which I'll be showing you here shortly, is actually with the SVS sound path. So I have a wireless transmitter from my Lexicon RV6 subwoofer output, and then it just plugs into this in the back corner of my room over here. So it sends the sub signal wirelessly to it, so I don't have to run an extra subwoofer cable. The frequency response is 19 to 310 hertz, plus or minus 3 dB. So definitely a wide range frequency response. In room, probably do a little bit better. This subwoofer is, as you guys know, I'm in 600 square feet total. So this room I'm in right now is probably 400 of it, maybe 350 of it, somewhere in that range. And it just, you know, I was having a hard time trying to keep my microphone from distorting and things like that, so I had to move it away from it. It's just a very powerful sub for a little tiny place like this. But for people that have larger dedicated theaters, that extra oomph, you definitely want it. So again, in-room frequency response is probably a little bit better than that 19 hertz, but that's that you can't hear it. That's the stuff that you can actually feel where your windows start moving. If you're on a subfloor, you can feel your floor kind of moving around. All the fun stuff when it comes to movies. So the other specs are, it's about 17.8 inches wide. It's about 18.3 inches tall with just the standard feet. Obviously, you can order the SVS feet as well too. That will give you a little bit of an isolation. I actually put it on an Orlex HT isolation pad over there, so you guys will see that when I show you in the video. And then it's about 20.9 inches back to front with the grill in place. So it's a pretty compact subwoofer for what it really offers. It's actually sitting on top of a Velodyne, what is this one? This is the DD12 HG, I believe the model is. So it's a $3,000 subwoofer below it, but this was like one of the kings out there. Obviously, they made bigger versions of it, and this one sitting on top of it is about half that price at $1,599, $1,500 with the oak finish, and the output performance is different. So back in the day, we had very little sub options. I've been in this hobby for about 20 years now. So Velodyne, there was some Epic made some good subwoofers, Reaction Audio made some good subwoofers, but generally speaking, the main companies was Velodyne. That was kind of the subwoofer brand that everybody wanted. They ran the gambit when it came to pricing options and things like that. But with the invention or the creation of companies like SVS, it gave us as consumers a lot more options. So Velodyne kind of had to sharpen their pencil to try to keep up, but they just couldn't compete with the direct, where the customer just calls SVS direct, eliminate the middleman, the pricing and all that stuff was just, those companies just really have a hard time kind of competing with that. And that's what kind of, the subwoofer down below it is the reason that we have subwoofers like this. That's the easiest way to look at it. Like I mentioned, it's a very stout subwoofer. It weighs about 102 pounds unboxed. And unfortunately, I don't know if I'll be able to show you guys this, but you might be able to see it. I bumped this thing into the back of my car. I had to take it out of the box to transport it home because, again, I kind of do all this stuff by myself. I don't loop in friends. A lot of my friends don't even know I do this channel. But I bumped it into the edge of my car, and it gave me a hairline crack on the beautiful gloss finish. Totally my fault. I'm probably going to end up losing money on this thing. But, again, been using it this past month, and I just feel heartbroken. I feel myself as like I'm kind of like a custodian of these pieces, so I really try my best to make sure they're not abused. I want the buyer to be very happy with them, so I'll be full disclosure when I put this out there and let them know that I kind of ding the finish. But really, what ended up happening, because I think it must have sat in a warehouse, that when I dinged that little corner, the crack ran all the way across. So it goes from kind of right here is where I dinged it, and then it runs all the way down and then all the way across. Pretty unfortunate, but the good news is when you're in the room with it, you can't tell it's I can't even show it to you. It's just a real hairline crack. So in most theater rooms, houses, things like that, it won't be an issue. So rambling on here again like usual, but we'll pop over there. I'll give you guys kind of one of my go-to demos. It's just the Ready Player One race scene with Kong and all that stuff. Again, this subwoofer overpowers this room. It distorts my microphone. So you're not going to find the big excursion videos from me, unfortunately. But I will show you, it definitely gets moving some air with that 3-inch peak excursion. It really gets moving pretty good. So we'll go over there. I'll show you guys this sub playing, Ready Player One, and then we'll pop back over here and I'll give you guys the average guy hi-fi impressions. I hope you guys enjoyed that brief demo there. Again, I'm going to keep saying this because it's a very important part of this hobby. I know you guys are probably following this channel because many of you don't have the opportunities to hear some of these speakers, or some of you out there already own this stuff and you're fortunate enough to be able to listen to it. But really, listening to videos on YouTube showing especially bass, I mean, there's nothing like, there's no distortion, there's no rattles, there's no nothing, but the microphone picks up on a lot of that type of stuff. And then there's just no excitement when you listen to things on YouTube because you have to hear these type of products in person. But again, many of us don't have the opportunity. You can't go out and spend $1,600 on a subwoofer. I followed channels like this for many years, so I decided to throw my hat in the ring. But ultimately, the right move is to try to listen to it if you can. That's the best advice I can give you. So I hope you guys enjoyed that demo, but please keep in mind that it sounds way different when you're in the room than just watching something on a YouTube video. But again, I feel like that kind of does a good job breaking up my videos when I show them in action. And I like excursion videos going back from car audio days when I had 212s, which I thought it was amazing when I had those. So just keep that in mind. That's a really important part of this whole thing. And I know Gene over at Audioholics harps on that, and I love him and respect him a lot when it comes to his knowledge and everything. So I want to keep bringing it up in my videos so it doesn't seem like I'm trying to discredit that or just getting people just to buy off of watching YouTube videos. So now we're on to the average guy hi-fi portion of this video. So this is where I give you guys my overall impressions of the subwoofer. So we go off of 5 categories: quality, bass, MSRP, aesthetics, and then also my price paid, and we average those out and I give you guys the average guy hi-fi score. So let's jump right into it. You guys already know this. From a quality standpoint, I'm a very big SVS fan. I give it a 10 out of 10. I don't give these ratings 10 out of 10 very often, but minus the fact that I ding the finish myself, this subwoofer is just the quality of the finish. The gloss black has no imperfections in it. The plate amplifier, 1200 watt RMS, the gigantic 40-pound magnet on the woofer itself, the LED display up on the top of the subwoofer, all of these things, the app, everything. Again, it's not going to be the least expensive subwoofer for sure, but in this price point, you can probably do a little bit better when it comes to overall output, deeper bass, things like that, which some people put that really important. But people like me, I'm a kind of a mechanics type guy. I like the stuff that oozes high quality, and SVS continues to impress. Even with their entry-level models, I've been very impressed with the overall quality of those products as well. But once you start getting up to these, the SB-4000s, the PB16 Ultra, things like that, they really start dumping technology and quality into these products. 10 out of 10 when it comes to quality. SVS always does such a fantastic job. That with their customer service, that with the warranty that they come with. Big SVS fan, if you guys can't tell. In the bass department, I gave it an 8.5. This subwoofer, again, is way too much for this room. That's a very good score when it comes to my rating scale, but with subwoofers out there like the ULS 15 shoe, that subwoofer is going to be really similar for quite a bit less money. There's the Rhythmic 15, sealed 15 that I reviewed. That subwoofer is going to have a little bit more output, but 8.5 out of 10 is a very good score. This SB-4000 just has tons of tight, deep bass. In this room, I never even came close to kind of testing its abilities. It's just kind of it would live an easy life in this room, basically. It does hit those low stuff. I believe I probably got down below 19 hertz in room with the room gain and everything. So 8.5 out of 10, very good score. You can just do a little bit better when it comes to performance around this price range. The MSRP on this sub, I gave it an 8. Again, I've already mentioned this, but brands like PSA, Rhythmic, Shoe, things like that kind of just undercut SVS a little bit. But, when you order, I'm a huge ULS 15 fan, but you're not going to notice the quality of the cabinet and things like that SVS puts into place. So, these companies, to try to hit these certain price points and all that stuff, there's some compromises that need to be made. SVS chooses quality and things like that, and it really kind of oozes. So, but performance-wise, that $1,600, you're getting close to the ability to buy 2 ULS 15s for that price, and that's going to be a game changer kind of comparing, because then you're getting dual subwoofers in a room, which takes some of the load off a single subwoofer, plus smooths out the frequency response. And again, if you guys follow my channel, 2 subwoofers is going to be my minimum. I'll always have at least 2, unless I'm just testing out one that I'm kind of lucky enough that's outside my price point. The aesthetics, I gave it a 9.5. Blue lights, gloss black, black cone, no dust cap. It's just a fantastic looking subwoofer with those metal grills. Just a very beautiful looking sub. You could stick it in a nice modern living room and it would look just fine. And the fact that it is sealed, you can kind of put it under an end table. You can kind of tuck it away. So it's not that big cabinets that I try, I know that those are going to be the best performance, but when it comes to trying to be able to tuck things away, sealed subwoofers, you can get a little bit smaller footprint and kind of stash them a little bit, so you don't have these gigantic subwoofers where maybe the wife doesn't agree with your style, but you want really good performance still. 9.5 when it comes to the aesthetics. My price paid, I gave it an 8.5. Picking this subwoofer up, including tax, with the full warranty and everything from Best Buy for $1,250, that's just a very good deal. 8.5 out of 10 when it comes to that price. You go on the outlets and usually they're like $100 to $200 off, depending if it has any damage or things like that. So this was a really good deal. It was a $1,600 subwoofer plus tax, and I got it for $1,250, and it's SVS, so it has killer resale. Now the fact that I damaged it, I didn't factor this into the scoring at all, but ultimately I need to be able to try to sell this stuff for as close to what I paid for it as possible. So hopefully I can get $1,250 back out of it. If I can't, then I'll take a little bit of a loss, and no worries, I'll just move on to the next. So again, quality 10 out of 10, base 8.5 out of 10, MSRP 8 out of 10, aesthetics 9.5 out of 10, price paid 8.5 out of 10. That's 44.5 out of 50, which is an 89% average guy HiFi score. Just a very nice subwoofer. If you have a little bit of a smaller room, you're not looking for maximum performance, but you want high quality, kind of modern look, this subwoofer might check all those boxes for you. I didn't come close to the kind of the limits of this subwoofer, and I put it through some tests and things like that, and it just seemed to kind of breeze right through it. So just loved my time with this again. Usually I have to try to get this stuff in and then sell it kind of within a week or so, but this one, it stayed with me. I enjoyed my time so much that I kept it longer than normal. So again, 89% average guy HiFi score, very good score for this subwoofer. I decided, since I mentioned this one in the last one, just to give you guys an idea, a little bit of history on subwoofers. I can do a video on this too, because I've been following these things for 20 years, but this was the brand that I could never afford back in the day. And again, the reason I wanted to show you guys this was $3,000. This is a 12-inch. I think I got the model wrong when I read it off to you guys, but this is a Velodyne digital drive DD12BG. So this was a $3,000 subwoofer back in the day, and many of you are like, oh my gosh, who would pay $3,000? But this was the reason, the competition of subwoofers, because of SVS and the other brands, it really, Velodyne started it. They started with the very high-powered, expensive subwoofers, and then brands like SVS selling direct to the consumer, things like that, could kind of undercut Velodyne. But they're making a comeback from what I hear, and I'm excited to, hopefully they'll send me some subs to test out for them, because this is a brand I really loved back in the day, and if they make a resurgence with maybe a little bit more competitive pricing, you'll probably expect great things from them. So this will be a video that's coming up in the near future, but I've got some other, I still got to do the Lexicon RV6 review. Things are kind of stacking up around me. Work's getting busy, like I mentioned in my previous videos, and I've got all this gear. I still need to review that Monolith 5-channel amplifier that I just got. There's just a whole bunch in the works, so I'm trying to get caught up here. But stay tuned if this is the type of stuff you're looking for. Again, I'm trying to help people out there, especially beginners, give them some information, some preliminary information. I'm not taking real deep dives in this stuff, just giving you guys my overall impression from somebody that's owned hundreds of speakers over the years. So you guys make a little bit more educated choices and hopefully save some money. Save some money, that's going to be the one that I really like to help you guys with. All right, thanks again, guys. My name is Dustin, and the name of the channel is Average Guy HiFi.